Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be part one of the Multicade cocktail table build. I use this, as you can see, it's pretty old. I use this for my template for cutting my tops out of the wood. So we'll do that later. I'm going to keep this off to the side for now. I have my measurements of what I want my sides and everything to be cut to. So we need to work on those first. It's going to be 26 tall by, my two sides are going to be 26 tall by 22. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 26 inches this way, and then we'll get our two 22-inch pieces out of this. So I need to do a good cut with the circular saw because this cut is going to be visible. And my table saw does not go 26 inches wide. So we'll get these two pieces, and then this section right here will get the other two pieces, and then I have another piece of this left over that we'll use to make the top, and then I have a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that we'll use for the bottom. So let's cut this first cut here. I gotta go get my safety glasses real quick. All right, let's get this first cut done. Now I'm going to set up the table saw 23 inches rather than 22 so that we can do a double cut. And we'll run the factory edge on the fence, and then we'll spin it around and cut the 22. So let's go to 23 here. We're going to make two cuts at 23 inches. There's our factory edge, and our other factory edge on the other side. We'll run them both on the fence. Okay, now this is our new cut that's good. We'll take it to 22 inches. That's our first two sides. I got a big pile of garbage over here I gotta burn. So that's our first two sides. Now we have to make two more sides. As you can see, the old parts from the dig dug and stuff. I usually just burn that old wood. Okay, so now we have to make another 26-inch piece. I'm gonna take my list here. I'm gonna mark off the two that are 22 wide. Our next ones are only 18 wide, so I'll set the fence at 19. We'll do the exact same thing again. After that, we have all four sides made. Then we have to make the bottom. After the bottom, we can pretty much assemble all four sides in the bottom. One of those two sides I just cut, we need to cut a speaker hole and a coin door hole into it. So we gotta go 26 again. The reason why I double cut everything is you see how these come from the store. They're all chipped up. And by double cutting it, it gives you a real nice cut edge to work with. Oh, we also have to router some T-molding grooves into those two pieces only that I just cut. Because these two pieces go inside of those. So we do need to router those as well. So once again, we need to cut a nice cut with the circular saw on this. I'm going to get a second sawhorse under here, so hopefully it doesn't all fall down on me. That should work. There goes my paper. Grab this. This has my measurements on it. 18 wide. Okay, we're going to set it at 19 inches at first. Okay, so now we got all that cut. This piece I'll keep. We'll use that for the control panels. So let's get one of these first two sides that I cut up on the sawhorses. So that we can mark the coin door. We're going to put the coin door and speaker on the same side. So let me go grab the coin door and stuff. Okay, here's the coin door we're using, just a single slot coin door. That'll go in the center, and we're going to put the speaker above it, right in that area there. So we need to get these marked so we can cut them out. So I need to get our measurements here on this ring, 7 inches wide, 9 7/8 tall. Okay, so we got to find the middle of this, which is 11 inches. Center point, so 3.5 off of each side. And then we have let's go 5 inches from the bottom of the cabinet, and then we need to go up 9 7/8. So for that 5 here, 10 inches would be 15 minus an 8, so 14 7/8. And we'll just double check this measurement. Yep, we're at 9 7/8, and we're at 7 inches wide. So let's make another mark here. We gotta draw this square out, and then we need to make some rounded corners. So I'm just gonna draw a perfect square, and then we'll find something that matches the radius of the corners on that coin door. Probably another can or something like that. Maybe, probably even the same one I used last time, that can of silicone or whatever that was. That seems to be a pretty good size can to use to get that corners drawn out. And I'm not worried about getting marker on the rest of the cabinet. It's getting completely covered in vinyl. Okay, so we got our square there. Now we need to do our speaker, which we need to figure out how we're going to cut this. I wonder if I have a hole saw this big. I don't think I do. Be nice if I did. This is about a 5 5/8, 5 1/2. Let me go see if I have a hole saw that big. I don't think I do, but I might. Okay, so I have a 6 1/2 inch and a 4 1/2 inch hole saw. I don't have a 5 1/2. So we're going to use this 4 1/2 inch hole saw. We'll cut it with a 4 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to draw a 1/2 inch bigger ring around this. So it'll get me close enough, and we can just finish it up with the jigsaw. So I want to center it, which is 11 inches. Probably just going to center it both ways. And this is from here to here is 11 inches, so half of that is 10 1/2. We're going to go, 5 1/2. So we're going to go 5 inches rather than 5 1/2, because when the coin door's in there, it's got that 1/2 inch lip that overhangs. So by making that 5, that'll end up pretty darn centered between where the coin door and the top finishes. So let's drill this 4 1/2 inch hole. These things get kind of dangerous when they get real big like this. They like to grab. Now we just need to enlarge that hole. So I'm gonna have to go get the circular saw, and I gotta get this piece of wood out of here. So I'm gonna go get the circular saw. We're gonna draw this bigger, and then we'll cut it. I'm sorry, the jigsaw. Okay, now I'm gonna take my hand here. I'm gonna draw this, run my finger inside the circle. We're just gonna draw this 1/2 inch wider than what it currently is. Just like that. Cut this out. We'll see if it fits. Check that. Actually, it is perfect. Doesn't even wiggle around. Perfect. So what will happen is this will get mounted on the back side. This will go on the outside. Just like that. And then this will get mounted on the back side. And we got to put nuts and bolts through there. Okay, so that's done. I got to draw my circles and we can cut this out. And then we just need to do a router T-molding slot on each side of this one and the other one that's the same size. And then all 4 pieces for the main box are ready. So I'll leave the coin door down there. I'm gonna go find something to draw those corners. Okay, once again, this can is the perfect size. If anybody's wondering, it's called the Right Stuff. I use it for cars. It's just a gasket material. Makes gaskets. But this just works out to be the perfect size. You don't need to have a bunch of fancy compasses and all that stuff. You just find something you have laying around and you can make it. Okay, we're going to use our circular saw for the first couple straight cuts. And then we'll use the jigsaw to finish it up. Finish up the corners. Beautiful. We're 2 for 2 today. Nice fit. So that is done. Now I need to do, let's get these T-molding slots routed in there. I got my router over here. Let me grab an extension cord. Okay. Double verify right in the center. Go grab the other one. Okay, that one's done. Now, when we do the top, I'm going to use this 3/4 inch melamine. And then the plexiglass, it makes it just under an inch thick total. So I bought 1 inch T-molding, but I didn't realize it until yesterday when I thought about it. 1 inch T-molding has the rib directly in the middle, which is at a 1/2 inch point. So in order for the T-molding to work on the top to where it will stick up to cover the edge of the plexiglass, I'm gonna have to router my T-molding groove higher up into the piece of wood. So we're gonna have to try to calculate that out. We'll probably have to do a couple test pieces with a scrap piece of the plexiglass so that we can test that. I'm not using real glass for the top because, like I said, he has really young kids, you know, anywhere from maybe 2 years old to 5, something like that. And I just was worried that they would maybe take a toy or something like that and smash the top of it and possibly break the glass. So we're going to use plexiglass. We can always put a glass one on there in the future if he wants to. That's not a big deal. But at least for now, I feel a lot safer having the plexiglass. And who cares if it gets scratched? It's way better than having broken glass, shards of glass that they can get cut with. So, all right, we have these routed. The other ones on the ground right there do not need routed because those fit on the insides of these. We need to cut 4 cleats, those wooden cleats that we staple in on the inside here. And we need to leave them up 3/4 of an inch from the bottom so that the bottom piece of plywood can go in. I'm not going to put a toe kick on the bottom of this cabinet. Like, you know, some of these cocktail tables will have a toe kick. I'm not doing that. We're just making it go. The plywood's going to be flush with the bottom, and then there's going to be 4 leg levelers on there, which I'm using a 5/16 leg levelers rather than 3/8 because there's no reason to have a huge 3/8 leg levelers on the bottom of this cabinet. It's such a small cabinet. So this is 26 tall, so we need to cut those cleats at 25 1/4 tall. We need 4 of them. Okay, we're gonna cut 4 of these at 25 1/4. And then we're going to assemble the 4 sides, and then we can cut the bottom, because I'd rather make sure on my measurements for the side, for the bottom. So we're just going to stack all 4 of these, cut them all at the same time. So now let's go inside, and we are going to assemble the 4 sides and get a measurement for the bottom piece. Okay, we have one of our first sides on the ground. We want to make sure that these cleats are flush with the top, and then the plywood will go on the bottom part. Now I want these to come in, let's do 1 1/4 inch, because once we put the other piece in here, which is 3/4, that'll leave us with a 1/2 inch reveal right there. So we're going to go 1 inch in, I'm sorry, 1 1/4 inch in. We'll make 3 marks. On each side. Then we can glue, staple, and screw these in. We'll do both sides. And then at that point, we'll be able to put this together. Let me grab my air hose for my stapler. See if I set the pressure at the right pressure this time. Probably not. So hopefully it doesn't keep jamming up on me. But we'll see what happens. So now we can get some glue on this cleat on the one side. Lay it on these marks. Flush at the top. I pretty much assemble all cabinets this way. By doing this, you have virtually no fasteners on the outside of your cabinet. Just makes it a lot easier and quicker to put something together without having to bondo up a bunch of screw holes or anything like that. Yep, it's jammed up on me. Okay, now I still have not got a new countersinking bit. I still have this broken one. So I do have to run out here in a little bit and get some of those nuts for those leg levelers. So I will try to remember to pick up another bit. Okay. You know what else I'm going to do before I take this one up and do the other side? I'm going to put a cleat between this one and that one to hold the bottom. So I'm going to go outside in a minute after we put these screws in, and I'm going to cut 2 more cleats. Okay. $17 1/4 will work. It might be a little bit loose, but that's fine. Let me go cut 2 and I'll be right back. Okay. So now, this we don't need to put any measurements on because we're just going to line it up at the bottom on each side. Okay, we can drill a couple holes. 3. Then we can make our other side cleats. Okay, this side is done. Grab the other one. Same thing. Inch and a quarter on each side. fits. Yep. Okay, let's countersink these holes. Thought somebody was here. That's why I had to stop the camera for a second. I don't know if anybody guys have ever used the game mouse, but I think those work pretty good, especially for these cocktail tables. Okay, now let's go get one of the other sides and we'll apply it to this side. It's going to go just like this. Looks good. Let's get some glue on it. Lined up at the top here. Get a staple in it. Do the same thing with the other side. Okay, now I'm going to get the screws in it, and then we can flip it, we can do the other side. And I'm not worried about putting little tiny scratches or anything in it because the vinyl is going to cover everything, which the floor is pretty clean. Okay, now we got to get this other side on. So I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on these real quick. Got to go fast because the glue is going to want to drip everywhere. Put a bead on there. Flip it over real quick. Okay. Just drop this into place. This is the bottom. There we go. Now we got to line it all up. Stapler is a pain in my butt. Okay. I need to go cut 2 more cleats for here and here, so I'll go do that and then I'll come back. Okay, let's put these on. I still have to screw these upper cleats. I gotta grab a hammer. My staple didn't go in all the way. I think I got one right over here. Just gotta tap that in a little bit. I must not have had it in all the way when I put the staple in it. Keeps wanting to bow out. Okay, let me put a screw in there real quick. Guess I'll put a screw on the bottom on each side. There we go. Okay, now we can go back to put these ones on. Now doing this like this makes it for a really nice sturdy cabinet. Okay. The bottom's facing the floor right now because I want to get these other couple screws in here. And then we'll cut the bottom piece. Nineteen and 3/8, 19 and 3/8, 18, 18. Okay, I'm just gonna go cut this off camera. 19 and 3/8 by 18, and then we'll come back and put that in. Okay, I got my piece cut. I'm gonna try to just see how it fits here. A little bit tight. It's gonna fit. Just a real tight fit. So let's get some glue on these 4 cleats. And I'm only gonna put a couple screws. I'm not gonna screw the bottom. I'm just gonna staple it because these cleats are all screwed in. And this is glued and stapled. It'll be plenty good. Okay, I can't put the leg levelers on yet. Like I said, I gotta run out and grab some stuff for it. So for now, we can just stand this upright. So that's what we're looking at so far. Got a nice base made. Now let me go get set up and we can router out the top piece. And then after that, we can work on our control panels. We have to make a control panel for this side and this side. So let me go get set up and we'll get the top cut. First thing I'm gonna do is the cabinet, the top is 22 wide. We're gonna cut this at 24, and then we'll run it through the table saw to get a nice cut on each side. It's 24, and the length is 32, so we'll just make it we'll go 34, because I'm not worried about this 34 cut. I'm not worried about either one of these cuts. Straight edge here. I remember when I first started building cabinets about 9 years ago, you could get MDF, not this stuff, but MDF for $19 a sheet. Now MDF is the same price as this, $40 some a sheet. All right, so now I need to cut this out. If you notice, I'm kind of holding the saw up in the air because I didn't want to cut through the sawhorses. Okay, come over to the table saw. We're going to first set this at 23 inches. Run the factory edge along it. I'll grab this top. We're actually going to set this on here and move the fence over. Just touches the blade. Just a tiny bit over 22. So now we have our correct width. So we can clamp this down with 4 clamps and just leave it clamped down permanently while we run the router around the 2 edges. So let me go grab a couple clamps in the router and we'll get that done. I ended up just grabbing 3 clamps. 3 is more than enough. We'll put 1 in the center on this side. And I got my paint stick underneath it. Make sure we're lined up. Okay, now we can get our router plugged in. go ahead and start cutting this. Set my depth here. Might have to readjust the blade down farther because this is so thick for a template. So I'm not sure yet. Cut almost halfway. Might have enough length on this bit. It'll be close. Yep, looks like it's gonna make it. There we go. So now we're not going to router that hole because we're using a flat screen and it's going to be a different size than that hole. So I'm going to go grab the flat screen and what else do I need? Oh, the piece of T-molding so we can try to figure out that groove. Okay, I got a piece of this 1-inch T-molding and I got a little scrap of this and this plexi. So it looks like it's not going to be too bad, really. If I put my groove, this is the perfect thickness. So I just need to put my groove. I'm going to grab my marker and we'll do a test run on this piece. I put my groove right there. Should be good. So let me set my router up. And in the past I have cut the plexi to match this curve with a jigsaw. I almost wonder if I can use it with the router. I've never tried it before. I don't know if it would just gum up or not, but I might try a scrap piece and see if the router would cut, because it would turn out a little bit nicer, you know, around all these, because usually I cut it with a jigsaw and then I have to go back with my sander and kind of sand it out to smooth it out. But something's telling me if I use the router it's probably going to gum up, or maybe I can spin it at a slower speed to get it to not gum up. I'm not sure. So it's not too far off from where this is currently set. So let's just bring this up a little bit. That looks to be right about in the center. Let me grab a little bit bigger piece, rather than cutting my fingers off trying to router that. So let me just see what happens here. I don't have a hammer out here. See if I can just manhandle this in there a little bit. There we go. I'm liking that. That's like perfect. I like that. So we're going to go ahead and router this top. And then I have the clamps that clamp it all together. So now that we know that this is set, this is the top, let's go ahead and router this out. That's done, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we need to cut a hole for the monitor. Now I have a monitor over here. I'll wipe this dust off. It's a 19-inch monitor. We use flat screens for, you know, if somebody wanted a CRT, I can obviously put one in one of these cabinets, but for people that just have one game at home with kids and want it to just be reliable and work for them, you know, something like this is obviously the better choice. So I want to cut the hole in this top to this screen size, not to this outer dimension, because I'm going to take my router and I'm going to router a groove in the bottom side so that this screen can come up more towards the surface. So we need to be at 16th over 14 3/4 and a 16th under 12. So 11 and 15/16 by 14 and 7/8. 7/8 should be fine. So I need to figure out my center here, which is exactly 24, so 12 inches. Okay, now we know that our monitor is 14 inches that direction, 14 and 7/8. So we'll say it's 15 inches. 7.5 and 7.5 is 15. So we're gonna go between a half, 7.5, and 7 and 7/16. So we're gonna split the difference. And we're going to come from this line down 14 and 7/8, right there. We're going to measure from here up. We're at 4 and 5/8, 4.5. We're close enough. We're within 1/8 of an inch. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time trying to move it over 1/16 of an inch. Okay, we're 22. 11 is our center. And now we got to go 11 and 15/16. So we'll say 12 inches. So we're going to go 6 inches. Just under 6 inches. Come over here and mark this at 11 and 7/8. See what our spacing is here. 5 and 1/8. 5 and 1/8. We're good enough there. So let's draw this. I'm using my finger as a straight edge along the end of this top here. Good there. Now we got to mark the other direction. Then we can cut this out with our circular saw, and then we can flip it over and we'll router out the monitor hole. Find my saw. Over, and now we have to figure out how we're going to router that out. We're probably going to have to use two different bits. Probably going to have to do a little bit of hand routering, but we'll get it figured out here. Okay, the rim around the monitor is about 5/8 of an inch. I have a bit here that is 3/4 of an inch wide, so that would be fine if I can router out a 3/4 inch channel around here. I might see if I can't use my straight edge and set that up, but I have to try to figure out my width here from the edge of the cutter to the edge of the plate. We're at 1.5 inches. So if I set my straight edge up 1.5 inches plus 3/4, I'm tangled up here. Oh boy, dropped my router. 1.25 inches plus 3/4. Did I say 1.25 inches? 1.5 inches maybe? I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me remeasure here now that I dropped this in the mud. 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches plus 3/4 is 2.25 inches. So if I clamp this at 2.25 inches, I should be able to just run my router along this edge. Should. Right there's 2.25 inches. Let me grab a clamp. Once I get done cutting this out, I'm going to stop this video. I'll upload it, and the next one we'll finish building the cabinet. I got the guy coming to pick up that Super Mario Brothers Multicade that I made last week, and he's supposed to be here in about an hour, so I got a few things I got to take care of. But then after that, I would like to get the rest of this built today since the weather's decent. It's not raining or anything. Double clamp this so this stays nice and straight. Measure this. Should be 2.25 inches. Okay, now we're gonna have to do it in a few passes because there's no way I'm gonna be able to route down pretty far in one pass. So let's see what happens. I'm happy with that. I want to try to get about 3/4 of the way up. We're going to leave it there at that height. I think that's good. And I might be able to actually cut this all in one height, so I don't have to keep adjusting it and then it end up not being the same. So we need to move these to here and go 2 1/4. Okay. And like I said, we only really needed 5/8 of an inch, I think, from what I was trying to measure on that. So we're a hair over, which is fine, because I'd rather be a little bit big than too small and have to go all the way back around this thing. So what I'm thinking, since I'm going to be going this depth all the way at once, I'm going to do it in 2 passes. I'm not going to go tight. I don't know if I should go tight to that or not. Actually worked out really well. So now we just got to do this to 2 more sides. Man, I got a mess. Big mess to clean up today. But I was going to do this on Sunday, but like I said, I got the day off today. It's not horrible out. It's a little cold. It's in the 40s. But kind of used to it. And this edge that's left here of the wood that's showing, that's bare, I'll just take some black craft paint and we'll just paint that edge before I put the monitor in it, just to blacken it out. All right, last cut. All right, let's see if this will fit. Grab the monitor here. Beautiful. Now I just need to make some sort of clamps that'll hold it in place, which I don't think that'll be too big a deal. I could see in here, and I see that there's a big gap between this plastic and the screen itself, so I might just take some angle brackets and bend them, put a screw through here and a screw into there, probably 4 of them or maybe 6, or I don't know how many. But all right, this is going to end part 1 of the cocktail table Multicade build. I'll get this uploaded, and then we will start back up and we will make the control panels, and I think that's all that really needs to be made. And then we can get the legs on the bottom of the cabinet, and I got to get hinges for the top. I don't know what I want to use for a bar to hold it open. I might just make a piece of wood that just is on a screw that just pivots up and holds the top. I've used those ones that automatically open and stuff, and the problem is it seems like those put a lot of stress on the hinges, and seeing that this is particle board material, it likes to want to rip the screws out of it. So I think our best bet's going to make a prop rod out of a piece of that wood and hold it up that way. So all right guys, this is end of part 1. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.